effectively crash the competition, for instance, and go achieve success over dead bodies, for instance, and this is not exactly what's practiced, for instance, in Asia. And again, here, an example from Japan, where we have all sorts of leadership styles, including after 5 leadership. As you can see, that leader is actually part of the team. We know that it's very much a collective culture where leaders just part of the. They're not something better, and they should socialize and communicate with others on the team, etc. So, if we look into executive competences, in terms of culture, this is something we should stress, that global executives need to know what they need to learn is not just business knowledge, and this is not something they can just learn in business schools and programs. They actually need the cultural context for this, and the learning process mostly takes place in a specific cultural situation, because this impact of cultural differences is enormous and can affect business to such a degree that actually no business may be possible in the end if we don't do it right. And we can't really predict it in advance, and that's why all the expatriate placements, for instance, are very important, not just theoretical knowledge being in business programs. So expatriation, as you can see here, has been underlined as well. If we talk about education in terms of culture, it's very much not an emotional process, emotional education as well. And as I already said, it involves living and working in other culture. And what I added there at the bottom is we usually get more of preparation when we're supposed to work in the culture where we will expect tremendous differences, for instance, when you go to Saudi Arabia or places like this, Asia, whereas apparently studies show that even if cultures like, if you look at English-speaking countries, or even Austria and Germany, German-speaking region, that there are significant differences as well, but because we're seeing there are many similarities as well, we tend to neglect the issues that, in any case, expatriates need this period of adjustment, and they need preparation for such expatriate work, also when it's, so to say, close at home. And there is this danger of assuming that there are similarities or there are no differences. So, what should we do to ensure that global executive development takes place? And here I show you some of the research findings. Of course, what the global business environment is expanding from local to global, and the preparation focus should be on this. And the ones that I underlined again, we don't really have to dwell on the others. Ability to influence people from other cultures is the most important global competency, and I would like to stress this. That's why I spent some time talking about culture. And expatriate assignments, external networking, and internal mentoring are the most effective methods for developing global executives. And I would like this information to sink in a bit. And if we look at results, findings of surveys where global executives talk actually about future prospective leaders, and they do not see much material there right now. And also, if the executives were asked to talk about those that they're supposed to look up to, top management, they're not really happy about what they see either. So, as you can see, there is again a lot of room for improvement, especially in terms of effectiveness of program execution and those executive development programs within organizations and so on. projects and hands-on experience is very important. And of course we have all those challenges, and we can see that there is a huge demand for global executive talent, and supply is pretty low. And these who are ready for such roles should realize that they have to take up the challenge of global business and expansion in unknown regions, and of course it involves mergers and acquisitions. This is not the end, this is just the beginning, and then the real work starts. And of course there's competition as well, and so on. So all those who study business or business managers themselves, well, they obviously realize all this. Now, how do we prepare those leaders for those challenges? How do we enhance their current skills? This is the main question here. As we already said, but this is what comes after, of course, after university education. I would like to mention it right now because something has to be done so that process starts earlier, already during higher education, not afterwards when it's actually too late, because you are supposed to be developing and doing business and closing deals and being successful at the same time, and there might not be enough time for all of this. Leading cross-cultural and virtual teams is very important as well, apart from what we've already said, at the very top. Custom training workshops, executive coaches, business simulations, e-learning, business school executive programs. This is all what actually top executives say is needed and is required also in the high flyer programs. But as you can see at the bottom, there's a huge disconnect between what executives find to be the most effective method and the method employed most commonly by organizations. So how come we have this gap, which we should bridge somehow? So what do global executives really need? And you see again, culture plays such a big role that is actually the first point. The ability to influence and motivate people from different cultures, resourcefulness, cultural sensitivity, effectiveness in ambiguous situations, ability to develop interpersonal style, and so on. And views for learning about new cultures again. So let's look now at some countries like USA. American college graduate prepared for today's workplace. Well, again, if you look at results of various studies on this, there are gaps between the skills possessed by college graduates and those required by today's high-performance jobs, skills and attributes like leadership, teamwork, problem solving, time management, self-management, adaptability, analytical thinking, global consciousness, even basic communication skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing, which seems in a way. But this is the question we have to ask. Are graduates prepared even to participate in discussions and to write the report in their native language? There are often those skills left. So how to ensure acquisition of the skills necessary to succeed in today's high-performance workplace? Well, we need to be able to influence changes in curricula. They should be flexible enough to accommodate all the changes in the economy and global world. And there should be activities and projects offered to students so that they learn to value diversity and learn to deal with ambiguity and so on. So on, as you can see, somehow the faculty, and I think this is the key issue here, because we focus on students, but we don't mention faculty members at all. Now, how are students supposed to learn all those skills if the faculty members are not up to the task? We talk about exchange programs for students, internships. What about exchange programs for faculty members, workshops? I mean, there has to be some link between faculty and the industry and the corporation. They need to acquire those skills themselves to start with in order to be able to pass them on to the students. So the focus, in my opinion, should be on teaching workplace skills. But this is the question: do we have enough faculty to bring in this hands-on experience, or are they just those who spend most of their time at the university dealing with theories, but not much with practical side of the story? Also, it seems that key issues for curriculum development, ethics, adaptability, self-management, global consciousness, and passion for lifelong learning. And I think we should stress this as well. It seems such a buzz phrase, but it really does matter. And I always address this issue with my students. Ensure employability, and don't think that once you've graduated, that's it. You will be learning all your life if you want to be successful and progress in personal development, but also, of course, progress in your career. So the next question is, what can higher education and/or industry do to help students develop the required skills and attributes? And this is something that should be stressed. Of course, there needs to be some sort of collaboration between businesses and higher education. We need to restructure curricula and teaching methods. There should be corporate presence on university advisory boards. There should be more opportunities for students to apply theoretical concepts to real learning experiences involved in academic sectors. And of course, those programs, internships, and other hands-on work opportunities should provide students with this applied experience. But as I said, in my opinion, this should equally apply to faculty, not just to students. And of course, hands-on experience, even if it's not in a corporate environment, should be gained through case studies and examples. And those career service advisors should be visible on campuses. There should be some connection to corporate recruiters, and students should participate in job fairs, workshops, and career planning sessions, and so on. So, looking at this development of the required skills and attributes further on, well, how do we find out about what's required, what works and what doesn't? Of course, one way is to organize symposia like this one and talk about this. The other, somehow students and the decision makers at the university should find out. So we could conduct surveys, of course, workshops on employment skills and job search skills. And as I already stressed, faculty should be involved in corporate programs, and those skill requirements should be clearly articulated by global countries as well. And this should have an effect ultimately on university curricula and teaching methods. So we can see global executives are needed. So all those out there, the students, are you ready for the challenge? There is insufficient leadership talent out there. And you see, one of the reasons is apparently there is talent, but sometimes, and I must say that I would agree with the statement that you see here in the middle. Sometimes those who are actually very good do not get a chance to become executives because those who are already in those positions, who have a say, well, they're afraid that those are actually bright folks at work, and they feel threatened by this kind of talent. But don't give up.